Hello.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir.
Hello everyone, good evening. Hello Joy,
Good
how are
evening, sir.
you?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. And you?
Good. Yes, if you are ready, then we can proceed. Joy.
Yeah, hello, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm sharing my screen now. Okay, sharing screen. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's evening in Nigeria here, so good evening. And welcome to another demonstration of Week-9 assignment in DMI Cohort 2. So this afternoon, we'll be doing the assignment 7, the last part of the assignment for the week, and I will be demonstrating it, explaining some of the concepts, and then running the demonstration. So if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it is visible.
So, okay. Apologies for that. Okay, I'm trying to load the content. Okay. Okay, so looking at this, we can see what the assignment is about. We are going to be taking them one after the other, and I'll try as much as possible to just update each explanation before I move on to the next one. So the first task is to set up hooks, scripts, and wire them in settings or JSON. So I'd like to mention that before you do this, you must have had your architectural setup. Like from the previous assignments, we've done assignment 1, 2, 3, 4, and we already have an architecture we're working with. We've been able to deploy to S3 buckets. It's something that we are going to be looking out for. So when we apply these hooks, it's not coming from the thin air. It's coming from something that we have built from the first demonstration into this one. So I'm going to be doing this. These are files that I'm going to be needing, the hook files. I will explain them in details when I get there. So these are the 3 hooks then, and this is a folder that I'm going to create to input all of this. Then after that, after all of my hook is set up, then we'll move to task 2, 3, and then I'll walk you through the end of it. So without wasting time, let's get started. All right, so before we do that, I'd like to show you the resources that we are going to be using for this hook, because you need to download something So you come to your Udemy, you click on this, you have 4 different tools, files that you need to download because this is very important. Without this, you don't have anything that you're doing. So you're going to download this, and all 4 of them, settings.json, user prompt.guard.sh, pre2guard.s, and post2logger.sh. So these 4 files are our hooks, and we're going to be needing them. So the very first thing to do is to download this into your folders and just make sure that you know where they are because they are going to be very important in a couple of minutes. All right, so having done that, I will take you through a little bit of an overview of what we're about to do. One sec. All right, so I'm just be walking you through my Google Docs while I demonstrate. Nothing serious. So if you took the assignment from beginning till end, I feel like at this point, this is going to be making a lot of sense to you. So when I start talking about hooks, like I said, it's not going to come from thin air. It's going to be drawing from something that we have built from Monday down to today. So now we know that what we've been talking about is agentic AI, how to incorporate it into our deployments to make it easier, to make it have less errors. So we've walked through that. We've built an architecture. We have deployed using Terraform. We have deployed using Terraform to AWS. And if you've done all of that, it means that your application is live. But beyond that, there are other things that you need to set up. Simply because you are using AI and it's making things easier for you, helping you with the commands, modifying and fixing your code, doesn't mean that there are no downsides to using agentic AI. Everything good comes with a downside. So these hooks I'm going to talk about is what is going to cushion the negative or the downside that would have come with using agentic AI in your deployment. So what I have here, traditional AI assistants are passive. They suggest, they decide, then you act. But agentic AI is different. It does things on your behalf. It acts, it modifies your files, deploys infrastructure, and does all of those things. Now, because AI now has an authority to do things on your behalf, you need to create certain levels of security. These securities are going to limit the kind of things that this AI should be allowed to do within your infrastructure. And so that's why we are going to be creating hooks. So hooks are like the guardrails. These are like the security. You know, when you want to get into want to get to a company, you have the first level of security where they search you, do all of those scans, and then they allow you to get to the second level. When you get to the second level, someone still checks you and makes sure that you don't have any dangerous objects in your pocket or hidden somewhere. And then you get to the third level of security, just to ensure that whatever you're doing within that environment, that you are allowed to do it and it is safe. So that's the exact same thing that this hooks does. They are like security checkpoints that checks whatever you're about to do at different points in your deployment. Before you even type a code, before before your agentic AI or code base, if that's what you're using, before it interprets what you're about to do, the first hook will look at the command that you have entered and sees that that command is clean and sees that you're authorized to use it before it will move it to the next stage. So we're going to be using 3 different hooks here to ensure that whatever activity or actions that Cloud Code is allowed to do within your infrastructure, that it is authorized to do it, and not just that it's authorized to do it, it doesn't also go beyond what it should do. So hooks are your safety layers. They sit between the AI and your infrastructure and enforces rules that cannot be overridden by the conversation. No matter how clever the prompt, no matter how the request is phrased, if the hook says blocks, it blocks. So you see why having these hooks is even a no-brainer, because these hooks checks and make sure that every layer of your infrastructure is protected. Before you run any command, before it takes in that command, these hooks will check whether this should be done. If there is any red flag at all, if there is a command that you're trying to run that should not be, it will immediately block it, so long as these hooks are properly installed. So we are going to be using 3 hooks, like I mentioned earlier. And what they do is at different, I'm going to be explaining them at different levels. So like I showed you on Udemy, we downloaded the first one, the user prompt summit, the pre-to use, and the post-to use. So these three hooks are what we are going to be using. There is a fourth one, but our assignment does not require us to do that. So we are going to be looking at only these three. I'll just do a quick run through before I take you to the action itself. So the first one, the user prompt summit. The moment you press enter on a prompt, before Claude even reads it, it checks the raw text of your prompt, your words, your intent. What it does is, oh, I have an unstable connection. All right. So the very first one, the user prompt summit, is the first hook. I'd like to say that this first hook is sitting at the first level at the gates. So once you get in, once you type in anything, it will check your words. It will analyze the language that you have used. It will scan for dangerous language. If you say something, if you type something, for instance, you type delete all resources. There's a point we're going to try to implement that. You type delete all resources. It's going to check whether this language, whether this prompt that you have entered it will check whether it is the right thing to do. So when you say delete all resources, this flags a red flag. So the user prompts to look at this, analyze the language, and quickly block it. If the intent of that language you're imputing is not good, is not good for your infrastructure, immediately it will block it. But if it passes this layer and it looks at the language that you have input and it is okay, there is nothing wrong, it is not dangerous, it will pass you over to the next one. So the next one is a pre-to use. That's the one that you do in the bash. Now, after the Claude decides to run a bash command, before it executes, what it checks, the exact shell command Claude is about to run. What it does is that it compares the command against a list of blocked patterns and it matches. The command is cancelled before it touches anything. So what this means is that if you've been able to pass the first level, the user prompt summit, and you manage to find yourself here, you've been able to run the command has reached here. So it checks against all other blocked, all other codes that it has. It checks whether the command that you ran is something that is approved. So it compares it against a list of blocked patterns that it already has. If there is a match, it cancels immediately. The command that you have entered will not move forward. But if checked everything and nothing is wrong, then it can move. For instance, when you run Terraform destroy, it looks at this command and sees that there is a red flag here. It blocks it. It doesn't go through. But when you run Terraform apply, and after looking at it, it will approve it, and then it will move you to the final one, which is the post-to use bash. Now here, it checks what command that you just ran. It's not enough that it checks you from the beginning when you wrote your first command. Before Claude even reads it, it has checked. And then the second part, when it allows you to run the command and then deciphers whether the command is healthy or not. Then this one, it does an appraisal of the command that you just ran. It records a timestamp entry for it and then never blocks. So these are the three hooks that we are going to be using. And like I showed you earlier in Udemy, if you go to your resources, you'd be able to download this into your local machine and just keep it there because we'll be needing it next. All right, so I'll walk you through the next stage on how we are going to be doing this, creating the hooks. So the very first thing that you would do is, okay, sorry, I jumped. Apologies. Okay, so this was what I was looking for. So like I just mentioned, all of these hooks from the first one, which is the user prompts, I want to give you a run through of how all of these prompts connect. Now, the first one, the hook one, is the user prompt guard.sh. So this is the first one here. It works if everything is clear, it allows you to move on. If it's not clear, it blocks it. So if you're able to get to the second one, which is the action itself, if the tool that you run, if the command that you run, it's okay, you get an exit 0, which is allow. Then if it's not okay, you get exit 2, which is blocked. If everything is all right, you move to the next one. So the hook 3, which is the post 2, like I said, this one gives an appraisal of all the commands that you run. So every hook receives a different JSON structure depending on where it fires. And it's very important for us to be able to understand all of these things. So in your spare time, just quickly go around and find out what this payload is about, what the user prompt guard says. If you prompt this delete all resources, it's very important for you to know why this hook works and why you should always use it. So I'm not going to be sleeping on it. Just going to move on to the next one. All right. So these are the tools that you need already. Like I mentioned earlier, if you've worked from this assignment from assignment 1 to 6, you should have all of these things set up. But there is one that you may have missed out. So that's why I'm going to run through these tools from beginning till now. So your AWS CLI. I know that for you to even get to this point, AWS CLI is already installed. Then you have your UVX. Your UVS is installed as well. Then this is the command, this is what I'm looking for. So this particular tool, the JQ JSON parser, is what you need to be able to run these hooks. So if at this point you haven't installed it, it's very important that you install it, because without this, the hooks are not going to work. So how to install it? Simply run this sudo apt-get install-yjq. So once you just run the command on your terminal, allow it to load. So please run it in your folder. So once you run this command and everything is clear, just check with the version and to confirm that all works well. As you can see from here, I have an output here, JQ-1.7.1. So this is it. Make sure that you install this. Now, JQ is critical. Hook script reads JSON from SCDN using JQ. Without it, every hook silently fails and exit code returns to 0, regardless of the command. So like I said earlier, it's important for you to be able to install this, because we'll be needing it. We already have Docker and we have all this. So the first thing we are going to do now is to set up our hook script. So you first of all, run the pwd to confirm where you are. Experience by now should have taught us that being in the wrong directory and executing a particular command can keep you stuck. You'll be wondering why this is happening. The simple problem is that you are in the wrong directory. So the very first thing to do before you start setting up your hooks, kindly run pwd. And when you run it, look out for your project folder. If you see mine here, you see where I am. Inside Ultimate Agentic DevOps with Cloud Code. That is where you should be when we start setting up our hooks. So find out where you are, run pwd, and confirm that you're in the right folder. So the next one we are going to do is to create a folder that is going to be housing the hooks. Recall that where everything that we have been creating about this infrastructure are all inside this folder, the Ultimate Agentic DevOps with Cloud Code. So when you create this one, it's still going to go there. So you create a directory with this command, mkdir -p.clause/hooks. So when you create this, you're going to verify whether you have it. So I'm going to time to demonstrate. So I'm going to check. I already ran this command before. I've done the assignment from beginning to the end. So let's just confirm if I have this somewhere. This is something. Okay. Is So I want to exit so that I can go back to my WSL. All right. So if you look at what's happening here, you find out that I am not in the right folder. So whatever I'm running here, this is my path. I am not in the folder. So it's important that I find myself there. So my connection is a little bit slow, so bear with me. Okay, so this is the tool that this is our folder. So I'm just going to go into it. Lord, have an unstable connection. Come on.
Sorry, you could just type capital letter U and press tab
I
to bring everything out.
I know sometimes when I do that, it doesn't allow me to do it. Okay, so I clear my space a bit so I can have space. So like I mentioned earlier, you must run PWD, although I already know that I'm inside the right folder, but it's important for you to still confirm that you are there. So what I wanted to do is to show you that I already have this folder in here. So I'm going to run the command just to confirm it. One sec, I don't have this over the top of my head. It should be okay. ls minus LE dot close slash. Sorry, I just want to confirm so I don't run into an error. All right, so you look at it here. This is the folder that contains all my hooks here. So I already have everything set up here. Look at the hooks. So like I mentioned earlier, as soon as you create your folder, you have to copy it into, sorry, I missed all that. Once you create your folder, you're going to have an empty folder. But in my case, I've already done all this part. So I'll take you back here so that we'll continue to look at it. So when you create your folder with this command mkdir -p .claude slash hooks, so it creates a folder inside .claude, right? When that folder is created, that folder is hooks, like you saw inside my VS Code. So you can verify whether the folder was actually created. Once it is done, you'll see it here. This is the initial output that I have. So this is the hooks. Now, as soon as you do that, find where your hook scripts are located. In case you don't find it, I always like this command because sometimes things are jumbled up, you don't know where they are. You just run this command, it goes through your entire folder, especially the ones that ends with .sh. So it looks for it and finds it for you. Once you find it, you copy it. Now there are two ways to copy it. Some people like to do drag and drop. You can do that. Just, share your screen into two. I like to do that a lot because kind of makes things easier. So just divide your screen into two. If this is where you have your files, you just pick it from here and you drop it into the next. That becomes easier. Or you can copy it. So you just use the cp command and the path. You copy everything inside the hook. So if you look at the command here, it copies all the three scripts from where they are right into your project folder. And once you have it there, run this command to verify it. If you verify, you can also come to VS Code as well and look for it here. Why do I have all of these things? So one sec, please. So you can also come here. I don't know if this is blocked on my screen. Okay. So you can come here, you look at your hooks there. Look at it here. So as soon as you create it inside your folder, it comes here. And these are all the things that we've been working with from beginning. So your hook is here. So look at the hooks. The first one, the post2.logger.sh, the pre2, and all of that. So once you're done with the copying command, come here to confirm that everything is where they're supposed to be. All right. So once that is done, so once you've been able to copy it, the next thing to do is to make the script executable. Now, remember what we said about file permissions. We've encountered this multiple times when you find out that when you want to use your SSH key and then you're seeing permission denied, you just realize that, oh, there is a permission that is missing. You quickly go use CH mode, that's CH mode to change the command. So this is the same thing here. You have to make this executable because this is a program. So you run this command just to change the permission. This is very, very important because as soon as you start getting access denied, this may just be one of the reasons that you're getting the access denied. Quickly fix it. Don't even get to that point where you get access denied. Run this command to ensure that you have the right permission. After you run it, run ls-la. This command gives us a long view along with permission. As soon as you run this, you see read, write, execute for group, for owner, and for owner, for group, and for others. So you see it, and then this is the command. This is the permission that you should be getting. So down here, you see expected outputs. So once you run it, you see read, write, execute for owner, read, write, execute for group, and read, write, execute for others. So this is the other. Now, the next thing to do is review and verify the settings.json has the hook block. So this part is where it gets very interesting. So you run this command cat.claude/settings.json. So when you do this, you're trying to view, you want to confirm that all the hooks are there. We know what cat command does. It displays concatenate. Yeah, it displays all the contents of whatever file you're trying to view. So as soon as you run this command, this is what you will get. So you find all this. These are the hooks that you just created and added into your project folder. It's important that you confirm that these things exist, because if it doesn't exist, then you're not moving forward. So run this command to confirm that all your hooks are properly set. As soon as you find something like this, you see this, just know that everything is set. We can now move on. So the next thing to do is to now go to your Claude and call Claude. Okay. So I'll go to my Claude shortly, and then we'll see what's happening there. So this is it. Okay, I think I have another one. So now that we are here, I just call Claude. Oh, this is WSL. Okay, so I'm inside the Claude environment. So whatever we are going to be doing henceforth will be happening here. The first setup that we did, you did it on your terminal. You can do it from where you installed everything. In my case, I use WSL. All of my things are there. My project folders and all the configuration files that I have are there. So now that everything is set up, ensure that when you call Claude, you are in your project folder. Like I keep saying, if you're not sure where you are, run pwd to confirm. As soon as you confirm that you are inside the Ultimate Agentic DevOps with Claude Code folder, then you call Claude. You just type in Claude, and then you're back in. So I am right in here. So that is for the first task. I want to take us to Udemy so that we can see that we did everything. Okay, so the first, I'm giving you a run through of what we just demonstrated. So setting up our hook scripts. So the first thing we did was to download them from the resources. If you minimize this, you'll find the resources. Download all of them inside your local system. As soon as you do that, you create a folder. So once you create that folder, this is the folder here, .clause/hooks. You copy everything, use the copy command, or you do drag and drop. You copy everything and you put it inside your project root folder. And then you confirm that everything exists. Once you run ls-la to confirm that you can see them, then check for permission. That permission is very important. Check that it has the right permission. If it doesn't, run that chmod XU. I don't have it over the top of my head, but check the run that permission just to make sure that it has an execute permission. So once you have done that, that's the end of task 1. It means that you have set up your hooks and then you are ready to move on to the next one. So this next one, task 2, it's not, we're not going to be doing anything that has to do with demonstration for now or practical. We are just going to look at it more. I tried to explain it at the beginning, but I'm going to give it a little more touch before I move to the next one. All right. Okay, so task 2. I started with explaining why hooks are needed. When AI starts taking real actions on your infrastructure, like running commands, deploying resources, modifying files, you cannot just trust that every prompt and every tool call is safe. Hooks are the safety layer between the AI and your cloud environment. They intercept what Claude is about to say or do or has just done and give you control at every step. I really think this is very, very, very important because once you have this hook set up, you're sure that every single layer, every step that you take in every command that you run, something is checking. There's a security protocol that has to go through before you be able to move on. So the first one, this is the flow chart on how it works. You type in a prompt. The very first one, the first hook that sits at the top layer is a user prompt summit. So you type in something like delete all resources like we're going to be using. And this first one checks your words. It analyzes the language that you use to ensure that those words are safe. Already when you say delete all resources, you know that that is not a safe word. So the hook will first block it at this level. You won't even move on. But for instance, you run a command that is very safe or healthy, it will move you to the next one, which is the pre-tool use, the do hook. This is the action part. The first one, the user prompt summit, is a say hook. It just analyzes what you say and the intentions behind them. Then the second one is a pre-tool. This is a do, the action part, where it checks the command before it executes it. Before it says Terraform deploy, this particular tool would check that action, that command, before it goes ahead to execute it. If it is healthy, it will execute it. If it is not, blocked. So then the next one is a pre-to use. The log hook records what just happened. It records everything that has just happened. That's the final checkpoint. It checks the command that you just executed, and then that's it. Then the last one, which is stop, we didn't really use it for this project, so I will not be going there. So finally, we have the say, do, and log. The say is the user prompt submit, the words that you type. It blocks before Claude processes the prompt. Then the do is a pre-to use, the bash command to run. It blocks the command before it executes. Then log is a post to what command you just ran. It records a timestamp entry to deploy.log. So these are the tools, the hooks that we need. And so why both say and do are needed? The say hook catches obvious destructive intent in the natural language, but a prompt like clean up unused infrastructure may sound harmless and could slip through, but a do hook will catch it at the command level. So sometimes a command can pass through the first level of security and will pass through, but the way you framed it can actually make it look as if it's safe. And then when it now gets to the do level, for it to execute, it will flag it down. Because before it executes that command, it will check it, it will run it against other commands that are deemed to be unsafe. Once it flags something that does not look okay, it would not move it on. And then the final one, which is the log, it takes everything that you have just done and records it. So we are in task 3. We'll go back to Udemy again because that is our primary guide. Okay. So here, walk through the 3-hook script. Understand how the scripts actually work. Open and review all the scripts. So we're going to be looking at these scripts one after the other. So we'll open them in my terminal from the first one to the second one and the third one. And then I will try to explain what each of them means, what it checks, the action it takes, whether it allows blocks or anything. So I'm going to be running through all of this in the next one before we get to the one that we have been waiting for, which is to actually see whether the hook that I have tried to install works. When I run the dangerous command, I want to see whether that command, whether Cloud Code is going to accept it or not. Right. So 1 sec. Okay, so we're going to be running the first one, which is this. I'm not going to be cutting from my WSL. I'll do that from my VS Code. I'll show you where this is. So we're going to be looking at the user prompts guard sh. Okay. Okay. If I'm a VS Code at all. Okay, so this is the first one, the say hook. Look at line 2. Line 2 says catches destructive intent in the user prompt. So once it's either you're viewing it from here, this is the easiest way to view it. If you're not looking at it from here, you can just run the cat command and it will display it on your screen. So when you open the configure the file, this is what you get. So once you open this, you see catches destructive intent in user prompt. I've said it before. When you run command like delete all, destroy everything, remove all resources, wipe, nuke, drop all, these are all dangerous words. So when you echo any of these prompts, delete all, destroy everything, remove all resources, wipe, nuke, drop all, what happens is that what you're telling it to do is when you receive any of this kind of commands, block it. Destructive intent detected. Please use TF destroy for controlled infrastructure. Now, normally when you run any of these commands here, it's all or destroy everything, this is what you're going to get. So that's what this file is about, the user prompts.guard.sh. So it tells Cloud Code what to do. When you see any of this command, delete all, destroy everything, remove all, simply block it. And when it blocks it, you return with a message. It comes out with a message like this, because this was what I got when I tried to say delete all resources. It told me that this was a destructive intent, so it didn't go ahead. So that's the first one. So look at the next one, which is the pre-to guard.sh. Like I said, you can still find this, run this in your terminal to get this command, but this is the easiest way for you to find it, where all your infrastructures are positioned. All right, so this one is a do hook. It blocks dangerous bash commands before they execute. So like here, it says Terraform destroy, Terraform apply, auto approve. So when it sees any command that it flags to be dangerous, before it executes, before it goes ahead to do that, it will block it. You know, when you compare this action to general AI, any other AI out there, once you give it a command, it gives you the result without having to make any decision or whether checking anything. It just tells you, gives you what to do, tells you, oh yeah, go and delete it, you go delete it. But this one, Agentic AI has these hooks to help you make sure that you are running a very safe command. So in this one, the pre-to guard.sh, what it does is it checks for dangerous commands before you execute them. And if those commands are flagged to be dangerous, it will block it and give you this output. So that's what it does. Even there's a way you can frame your language in the first one. It will pass the user prompts.guard.sh. But when it gets here, it will detect it and it will flag it down and block it. So when it blocks it, you get, so this is the configuration file. Then the next one is the post to log sh. So this is it here. So the log hook, it records every Terraform apply to the deploy.com. Everything that you run, it records it into the deploy.com. So this is what it does. And that's why that JQ that we installed is very, very important, because this is what helps the hook to work, or the commands to work when you run them. So these are the 3 hooks that we used in this folder. So if there's anything you do not understand, just open it and look at it, do more research, and it will become clearer to you. Okay, I want to see if there's anything that I'm missing out in. Okay, so I've been able to show you the content of these 3 hooks that we have, what they do, what they check, the actions that they check. So we've been able to see what user prompt.guard.sh does, the pre-to guard.sh does, and the post to logger.sh does. So we've been able to see that, so that when you run them, it's not just a copy and paste situation. You have to really understand what is happening here. You have to understand why you're using each of the hooks and why you need them. So after you have run your command, then you see. So the final part, which is a task 4, we are going to see, like I mentioned earlier, I've already installed all my hooks. I showed you where all my hooks are located. So we're going to find out if my hook test is going to work. So I'm going to run some of these tests. I'll try to delete all resources. Then I would ask, can you run Terraform destroy for me? Then I will check the log test. Let's see what our outputs would be. Would it delete all my resources? I don't know. Can you run Terraform destroy for me? Let's find out. Okay, so I already called Claude down here. Where is my Claude? 1 sec, please. Okay. All right. So that's correct. Okay, so if you're looking at my screen, you'll see what is happening here. I simply enter delete all resources, and this is my output in a very bright yellow. User prompt submit operation blocked by hook. So it means that all the hooks that I installed actually worked. It didn't even pass the first layer. As soon as I said delete, that word delete alone is a red flag. So it tells me that the operation is blocked by this user prompt hook. And then it said destructive intent detected. Please use tf/tf hyphen destroy for controlled infrastructure tear down. So I can't just run delete all resources. But if I don't have this hook, I think if you don't have this hook and you run this, you may not like the output. You may just clean up all your resources. So the first one was successful. It blocked it. So let's try something else. So the next one, we've done the say hook test and it was successful. The block happened. So the next one is the do. Can you run Terraform destroy for me? Let's see what I can do that. Okay. Okay. So recall I said, can you run Terraform destroy for me? It says, before I do anything destructive, let me check what Terraform configuration exists here. It searched and found one pattern and read 2 files. I can see what Terraform destroy would delete. This is a production environment with real AWS resources. And these are the resources that I have. S3 buckets. This is my S3 bucket name. The CloudFront distribution, CloudFront OAC, and S3 bucket policy. These will permanently destroy your live production infrastructure. Are you sure you want to proceed? Please confirm yes or no. So this one already flagged it and then tells me to be sure it needs a human prompt, a human action for it to go ahead. If my intent is to delete this, I can just go ahead and delete it. So and that will work. And someone asked me this morning, how would they clear their resources if when they are done and want to pull it down? I think this might just be one of it. If you're very sure that you are done and you want to pull down your resources, you want to clean it up, then I think Claude can do it. He built it for you, should be able to do that. And so because I'm not going to be deleting my resources, I will say no. This will permanently destroy your live production infrastructure. Are you sure you want to proceed? Please confirm with a yes or a no. So this is a safety hook. It already tells me that the action I'm about to carry out is a very dangerous one. It needs me to be very much aware of what I'm about to do. It went ahead to show me the resources that I have, that so that I can know exactly what I'm deleting. I have an S3 bucket, I have a cloud fund distribution, I have all of these things. If after looking at it, this is something that I want to go ahead with, then I say yes. If it is not, I go ahead with no, and it doesn't go ahead to do it. So that's the second one. Then we move on to the final one, which is the log. So we'll do the log tests. So we can see that the first two hooks are successful. The first one to delete blocked it instantly. This one needed a confirmation from me. So it understood my request and sees it didn't block it, but it gave me an option to see whether I'd want to go ahead with it or not. So the last one, which is a log hook test, run a safe deployment flow such as /tf apply, then open is confirm a new timestamp. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this. Run a safe deployment flow and then run. I think I'd run this yesterday. I don't know. Okay. Let me do that. Okay, this is what I'm getting. It read one file and said .clause/deploy.log doesn't exist in the repo. Were you trying to share a deploy log as a context for the Terraform destroy request? Oh, I didn't say no in the first one. Oh, well, my bad. Or were you asking me to look for something? Could you clarify what you need? Okay, this sounds like, let me clarify. I don't know whether this is going to work, but I'm willing to try. I don't have this log. Deploy.log doesn't exist in my Claude directory. And obviously I don't have it here. But if I did, it was going to give me the log of everything that I've done. So I don't have it here. So that is it. I've been able to run. Okay. So recall how we started this project. I started by telling you what a hook is, that they are your safety guardrails. These are your security guards at every level. And for this project, we use 3 of them. The user prompt slash hyphen guard.sh, the pre-to guard.sh, and the post-to logger.sh. If you're looking for how to find them, go to your resources and download the 3 of them. Once you download them, you find them in your local machine, and then you create a folder for them. Once you create this folder, you use the mv command to copy all of them, or you do drag and drop. So you copy all of them into this folder. confirm that they exist. Once you confirm they exist, run the chmod plus X command to confirm that you've given it the right permission, the execute command. Once you do this, then you know that you have set up everything that you need to set up. Then you move over to your Claude. Okay, so this part, we only try to understand what all the hooks were about. Then this one now, you open all of these ones, try to understand what this means, like I've demonstrated and showed you. Open each of these files and understand what they mean. And then finally, we ran a safety demonstration. We first of all did the say hook test by saying delete all resources, and instantly it blocked it. It didn't move forward. And then the next one, I did a hook test and asked it to run an action for me. Can you run Terraform destroy for me? It wanted to confirm if I actually wanted to destroy it. It showed me all the resources that I had in there, so I can be making the right decision. And then the final one, this one didn't really go through because I don't have the file I was looking for. So that's all the projects for assignment 7. I don't know if there's anyone who wants to ask me anything. At this point, I think I'm done.
Yeah, that's very good. And you have explained very well. So I don't think any question will be there. Well done.
Thank you.
But still, any question, if from any commenters, you can ask. From my side, it's very good. Well explained.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
So I'm going to.
Good evening, everyone. Joy, I must say that was a lovely presentation. And thank you for working with the WSL, who was resonating with me today. I just want to chip in one or two things, not because of you, but because of those who will be watching. One is this, I think maybe you missed that. When you're talking about the plot settings.json, when you open it most times, sometimes you might not have those hooks. That is the do hook, the say hook and all that there. So you might have to copy and paste it into that JSON, because when I was doing mine, I had that same problem too. By the time I opened, the only thing I had there was just for the previous assignment. So I had to basically copy those 3 safety guards you were talking about, the do hook, the say hook and all that, into the project JSON settings for it to work properly.
Yeah, I think I missed that too, but okay.
You missed that.
But there was a part I mentioned that you have to use the MV commands to copy them.
No, you talked about moving them.
Is that what you're asking?
No, not what I'm asking. You talked about moving them quite all right. I'm not asking you. I'm just saying it so that those who are watching that might want to do it, because they might get confused when they get there. You talked about moving the files from where you downloaded into your plot.hook, which is all right. But you talked about before you opening your plot.json settings files to see if you have those hooks there. Yeah. But sometimes when you open, you might not have the hook there, so you might have to copy those contents into that particular file. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you. Okay, noted for anyone who gets confused about it. So there's an alternative to how you can do it. So that's what he just mentioned.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So can I take off my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, any question? Ashik?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, if there is no question, then we are good to go. Thank you so much, Joy, for very well
Thank you.
Thank you. Just update the final sheet, okay? Okay then guys, see you again. Tomorrow we have a very exciting topic, that's Terraform. We will run from there, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see you tomorrow morning. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.